Good evening, everyone. Welcome again to another live streaming of basic transfer pricing. I would like to say thank you po sa ating mga subscribers at umabot na po tayo ng 1,170 subscribers. Thank you very much. No? Our topic for tonight is about the case of Bausch Lomb Incorporated and its consolidated subsidiaries versus the Commissioner of Internal Revenue. This is a U.S. case. And ano po yung mga issues dito that we are going to explain also, no? Discuss. The foreign-based company sales income and also the exclusion of income. Because in this case, may assessment, no? Yung Commissioner of Internal Revenue for 1980, 84, 85, 86, and 87, no, to include the income of Bausch Lomb Hong Kong on its parent company, no? So, shout out muna, Hari, before we go further.
Good evening po sa lahat. Shoutout po kay Ma'am SP Salom. Kay Ma'am Lilian Yao, good evening daw po.
Good evening.
Sabi po ni Ma'am Rosalina Tune, maayong gabi daw ma'am from Cebu.
Thank you.
Shoutout din po kay Ma'am Julian Principe.
Oh.
Good evening daw po. Sila pa lang po ma'am.
Okay, so sa mga viewers po natin, ilan yung viewers natin?
6 viewers.
Okay, so shout out po sa ating mga 6 viewers, no? Thank you very much for watching. And ano po ba itong foreign-based company sales income, which is the very important issue in this Bausch Lomb, no? Before we discuss also kung ano ba itong company na Bausch Lomb and yung kanyang operation, ito yung company na Bausch Lomb, ito yung gumagawa ng, paano ba yun, Hari? Ray-Ban o Ray-Ban? Ray-Ban, no? Ray-Ban, no? Sila yung gumagawa ng mga sophisticated na sunglasses that cost 2 to 10 times more than the ordinary sunglasses, no? Mga iba't ibang klase yung mga Ray-Ban nila na magaganda, and it really protects the eyes. And ano po ba itong foreign-based company sales income? Because may provision po yung Internal Revenue Code about the foreign-based company sales income that should be included in the sales of the parent company, no? Ito yung sa Bausch Lomb na US. Okay. So under subpart F, no, sa US shareholder of the CFC or Controlled Foreign Corporation, kasi si Bausch Lomb US, meron siyang Controlled Foreign Corporation, ito nga yung Bausch Lomb Hong Kong, no? Must include, yan ang sabi niya dito sa subpart F, must include in gross income a pro rata share of certain classes of income of that CFC, including inter alia foreign-based company sales income. So ito yung basis ng IRS na itong income ng Controlled Foreign Corporation na Bausch Lomb Hong Kong, i-include niya doon sa Bausch Lomb US. No? So Section 944D provides in pertinent part foreign-based company sales income. No? So it is in general for purposes of subsection A2, the term foreign-based company sales income means income, whether in the form of profits, commissions, fees, or otherwise derived in connection with the purchase of personal property from a related person and its sale to any person where the property which is purchased is manufactured, produced, grown, or extracted outside the country under the laws of which the Controlled Foreign Corporation is created or organized, and the property is sold for use, consumption, or disposition outside such foreign country. So the legislative history of subpart F provides some guidance on the meaning of foreign-based company sales income. In its explanation of subpart F, the Senate Finance Committee stated, the foreign-based company sales income referred to here means income from the purchase and sale of property without any appreciable value being added to the product by the selling corporation. This does not, for example, include cases where any significant amount of manufacturing, major assembling, or construction activity is carried on with respect to the product by the selling corporation. On the other hand, activities such as minor assembling, packaging, repacking, or labeling will not be sufficient to exclude the profits from this definition. So the sales income with which your committee is primarily concerned is income of a selling subsidiary. So yun yung foreign-based sales income. Whether acting as principal or agent, which has been separated from manufacturing activities of a related corporation merely to obtain a lower rate of tax for the sales income. Okay. So in these technical explanations of the bill, in acting subpart F, yun nga yung foreign-based company sales income, both the Senate Finance Committee and the House Ways and Means Committee further explained that the definition of foreign-based company sales income does not apply to income of a controlled foreign corporation from the sale of a product which it manufactures. No? So, hindi kasama yung income ng controlled foreign corporation from the sale of the product which it manufactures. In a case in which controlled foreign corporation purchases parts or materials which it then transforms or incorporates into a final product, income from the sale of the final product would not be foreign-based company sales income if the corporation substantially transforms the parts or materials so that, in effect, the final product is not the property purchase. No? So kung ginawa na siya, nag-process na siya, iba na yung property purchase niya doon sa binenta niya, so hindi na siya kasama. Manufacturing and construction activities and production, processing, or assembling activities which are substantial in natural would generally involve substantial transformation of purchased parts or materials. So under 954D, if a CFC purchase property from a related person that it sells to any person for use or consumption outside the country under which it is organized, a U.S. shareholder of that CFC is subject to U.S. income tax on that stockholder's pro rata share of the income generated by such sales unless the property sold is manufactured, produced, grown, or extracted in the country in which the CFC is organized. No? So if, however, the CFC manufactures, produces, grows, or extracts the property that it sells in the country in which it is organized, the income from the sale of that property is not foreign-based company sales. So dito sa definition na it is not a foreign-based company sales kasi manufacture siya sa ibang bansa and then produce, grown, or extract, dito pumasok yung B&L Hong Kong. Hence, in this case, panalo dito yung Bausch Lomb. No? So, the income from the sale of that property is not foreign-based company sales. No? So, dito sa phrase na to, sa wordings na to, dito sila pumasok. So, panalo ang Bausch Lomb. Regardless where the property is used or consumed. No? In Dave Fishbein Manufacturing Company versus Commissioner. So although the terms manufactured and produced are not defined by the code, no? Section 1954 Income Tax Regulations provides that the CFC will be considered to have manufactured, produced, or constructed personal property which it sells if the property sold is in effect not the property which it's purchased. Yung binili niya, siyempre, nag-manufacture pa siya, pinrocess niya, may in-extract siya. So, hindi na yung binili niya, yun nang binenta niya. Pinrocess na niya uli. No? So, that regulation further provides that the property sold will not be considered the property purchased if the provision of either Section 1954 Income Tax Regulations are met. No? So, dito nanalo yung Bausch Lomb. Anong ibig sabihin ng substantial transformation of property? If purchased personal property is substantially transformed prior to sale, no? So, bumili ka ng isang goods, tapos inayos mo pa, nag-add ka pa ng mga ibang features, ipinrases mo pa, no? Prior to sale. The property sold will be treated as having been manufactured, produced, or constructed by the selling corporation. So, ang ibig sabihin lang, bumili ka ng isang bagay, pero pinrases mo pa, manufacture mo pa ulit, then it is said to be manufactured by that selling corporation. No? Kasi hindi mo na masabi na binili lang niya, tapos binenta ulit, as is. In this case, ng Bausch Lomb, bumili lang siya parang sort of raw materials, tapos pinrases pa niya ulit. No? So the regulation also includes the following 3 examples of substantial transformation. So ibig sabihin, there is a substantial transformation, binago mo pa yung bagay na binili mo bago mo siya ibenta ulit. No? So there is a substantial transformation. Example, wood pulp into paper. Siyempre, binili mo siya kahoy, tapos binenta mo papel. Substantial transformation yan, kasi iba na yung kahoy, iba na yung papel. Steel rods into screws and bolts. No? So yung bakal, ginawa mo na siyang screw, ginawa mo ng bolt. May transformation na, nag-process ka na ulit. And fresh fish into canned fish. No? So yung fresh fish, pinrases mo, nilagay mo siya sa lata, canned fish na siya. So there is a substantial transformation of property. No? Okay. Manufacture of a product when purchased, component constitute part of the property sold. No? So if purchased property is used as a component part of personal property which is sold, the sale of the property will be treated as the sale of a manufactured product rather than the sale of component parts. If the operations conducted by the selling corporation in connection with the property purchased and sold are substantial in nature and are generally considered to constitute the manufacture, production, or construction of property. So without limiting the substantive test, which is dependent on the facts and circumstances of its case, the operation of the selling corporation in connection with the use of the purchased property. So pinag-usapan dito yung purchased property na binenta ulit, no? As a component part of the personal property which is sold will be considered to constitute the manufacture of a product. So in the case of Bausch Lomb, mayroon talagang manufactured product. No? Hindi yung binili niya component part lang. Okay. With such property conversion cost, direct labor and factory burden of such corporation account for 20% or more of the total cost of goods sold. So in no event, however, will be packaging, repackaging, labeling, or minor assembly operations constitute the manufacture, production, or construction of property for purposes of Section 954. The application of this subdivision may be illustrated by the following examples. So meron silang mga example. Selling price, 400. Material, acquired from related persons, 100. Acquired from others, 40. So total materials is 140. And then meron siyang conversion cost. Nasundan mo ba ito, Hari? So page 58. Okay. Direct labor and factory burden. No? So total cost of goods is gross profit 190, administrative and selling expenses 50, and then taxable income 140. No? So the conversion cost incurred by a corporation are more than 20%. No? So yun yung conversion cost niya. Or 33%. Although the product sold, an engine is not sufficiently distinguishable from the components to constitute substantial transformation, the purchased parts within the meaning of subdivision 2 of this subparagraph, a corporation will be considered under the subdivision to have manufactured the product itself. No? So yun binenta niya yung product, binili niya, tapos pinrases niya ulit, manufacture niya ulit, at saka binenta. No? So, anong tawag doon? Foreign-based company sales income, hindi yun kasama. No? Ang foreign-based company sales income, dapat binili mo yung product, tapos nag-introduce ka lang ng changes na konti lang, binenta mo uli. Pero kung manufacture mo na yung product, hindi na siya kasama doon sa foreign-based company sales income, hence not included doon sa income ng parent company. Okay. Because there is a substantial transformation of property pagka nag-produce ka na. And then meron silang test na dapat 20% ang na-incurred pa na cost, no? So, balikan po natin si Bausch Lomb, no? Tingnan natin kasi before naman sila napunta dito sa issue, ano ba talaga si Bausch Lomb at paano siya nagkaroon ng ganyang issue, no? Actually, si Bausch Lomb, marami siyang mga cases, no? Pero itong ginamit natin na cases ngayon, this is the 1996 case filed, pero this is for the year 1983 to 1987 na assessment, no? So, Bausch Lomb Incorporated and Consolidated Subsidiaries is the petitioner here, and the Commissioner of Internal Revenue is the respondent, no? So, the respondent, ibig sabihin yung Commissioner of Internal Revenue, determined the following deficiencies in petitioner's federal income tax. So, inassess siya ng IRS, no? So, for the taxable year ended 1983, ang deficiency niya is 9,340,688. 1984, 14,947,579. 1985, balik tayo sa page 2 na, Hari. So, December 29, 1985 is 5,417,150. December 28, 1986, 6,529,257. And December 27, 1987, 5,339,670. No? So, anong issues dito? Does the income for each of the years at issue from the sale of sunglasses assembled by Bausch Lomb Ireland Limited and by Bausch Lomb Hong Kong constitute foreign-based company sales income as defined in Section 954. Na-define na natin kanina kung ano yung foreign company sales income, no? That is includable in petitioner's gross income under Section 951A1. No? Anong conclusion dito ng court? We hold that it does not. No? So, sa issue number 1, kung foreign-based company sales ba, yung para sa US, itong sales ni Bausch Lomb Ireland at saka ni Bausch Lomb Hong Kong, ang sagot ng court yan, hindi. No? So, panalo ang Bausch Lomb. Sa pangalawa naman na issue, the respondent abused her discretion under Section 354B4 by failing to exclude certain income of B&L Hong Kong from sources other than the sale of sunglasses. It assembled from petitioner's gross income for their taxable year. No? So, ano naman ang contention dito ng court? Kung ang respondent ba, si IRS ba, nag-abuse ng discretion niya? Ang sagot naman ng court is, we hold that she did not. No? Hindi naman nag-abuse ng discretion yung IRS. No? Okay. So, ito yung findings of fact. No? Ang haba niyan. Doon na lang tayo sa background of the case. No? Hanapin natin. Kasi yung findings of fact, makikita din yan mamaya. Okay. Ang ganda nitong ng Bausch Lomb, no? Sila pala yung nagmamanufacture ng Ray-Ban, no? Okay. Okay. Ayoko yung... Okay, so dito po tayo sa history, no? Muna ng Bausch Lomb, kung paano siya naging Bausch Lomb ngayon, no? So B&L, page 5, Hari. So, B&L traces its roots to an optical shop located in Rochester that was founded in 1853. No, imagine 1853. Tagal-tagal na. By John J. Bausch and Henry Lomb. No, so dalawa sila. Prior to World War I, B&L, no, so 1853. So ilang years na? May 200, no? 270, no? Prior to World War I, kailan ba nag-World War I? 1990s, 1890s, no? 1895. So prior to World War I, B&L became the first producer in the United States of optical quality glass, no? A vital material for military instruments. Tingnan mo dyan, Hari, kung kailan yung First World War.
First World War.
Anong date? Kasi ang si Bausch Lomb, 1853 pa, wala pang First World War, ha? Okay. So, prior to World War I, B&L became the first producer in the United States of optical quality glass, no? A vital material for military instruments. Ginagamit ang military. That freed the United States from its dependence on European sources of such glass. So, gumawa na yung US ng sarili nilang glasses, no? Kailan?
1914.
Ha?
1914.
1914?
Ako.
So yun ang First World War.
World War I.
Tapos yung Second World War, yun yung 1940s. Okay, so 30 years lang ang gap, no?
1939 yung ano.
Yung, kaya nga. So 30 years lang, wala nga. Kasi 1853, wala pa daw First World War eh. So yung First World War is 1914. Second World War, 1939. So, 20 plus years lang, Second World War na. Okay. So, prior to and during the years at issue, ano yung years at issue dito? 1983, 4, 5, 6, and 7, no? 1987. So, si B&L, ito yung si Bausch Lomb, no? Manufactured and sold a wide range of optical-related products, including contact lenses. So, kasama yung contact lens, gumagawa din sila. Contact lens solutions, no? Yung solution na ilalagay mo sa mata mo para magkaroon ng parang liquid, no? Sunglasses, kasama yung sunglasses. Binoculars, telescopes, and scientific instruments. So, marami siyang product, no? Microscopes. Prior to the year at issue, B&L manufactured and sold prescription eyeglasses, no? Prescription eyeglasses, yung corrective. Prescription eyeglasses are a separate and distinct product from non-corrective sunglasses. Prescription eyeglasses contain individually finished corrective lenses, are tailored for a specific prescription and to fit an individual face. Ang galing nila, pati yung shape ng mukha, minamatch pa nila yung kanilang sunglasses. And are assembled by retail optical shops. In contrast, sunglasses have non-corrective lenses, no, yung mga sunglasses, are tailored to fit a standard face and are assembled prior to reaching the retailers. B&L discontinued its prescription eyeglasses product line during 1981. As of 1987, B&L performed manufacturing or marketing operation in 25 countries and its products were distributed in over 70 countries. No? B&L began manufacturing and selling soft contact lenses during 1971. So prior to 1980, B&L only manufacturing facility that had the ability to produce soft contact lenses using the spin cast process was located in Rochester. No? B&L determined that it was prudent to establish additional soft contact lens manufacturing capacity overseas in order to minimize regulatory delays, establish an alternative supply source to the Rochester facility, and have a facility capable of more efficiently serving the increasingly important European markets. Because of incentives, including tax benefits offered by the government of the Republic of Ireland, no? So mababa ang tax sa Ireland, to induce companies to establish manufacturing facilities in Ireland. Talagang nag-i-invite talaga sila ng mga companies na mag-establish sa kanila, no? That's why may mga incentives sila na binibigay. It was determined that the B&L could realize those objectives most cost-effectively in Ireland. Accordingly, for valid business reasons, on February 1, 1980, B&L Ireland was incorporated under the laws of Ireland to manufacture contact lenses. B&L Ireland's contact lens manufacturing facility was located in an industrial estate in Waterford, Ireland. No, Waterford Industrial Estate. So during the 1970s and the 1980s, B&L was increasingly turning its attention to international markets, including Southeast Asia, where B&L was experiencing rapid growth. No? So mabilis yung pag-grow nila. Mabenta yung kanilang Ray-Ban. No? B&L distributed its sunglasses and other products in certain Southeast Asian markets through independent distributor unrelated to B&L. So independent distributors that sold products other than B&L products, including in the case of at least one such distributor sunglasses produced by a competitor of B&L. So the independent distributors did not focus on B&L products. And B&L maintained no direct contact with the retail optical shops in Southeast Asia that sold its sunglasses to consumers. So in addition, B&L did not maintain any inventory in Southeast Asia and experienced long lead times on product orders originating in that market due to a delay in shipping products from the United States. No? Imagine, mag-order ka, i-ship pa galing sa America to the part of the world. This was the case even though during the early 1970s, B&L was experiencing rapid sales growth in Southeast Asia. That market began to develop and its consumers could afford more luxury type products. Also can afford. In 1971, B&L opened an office in Hong Kong. Nagbukas siya sa Hong Kong, its largest market in Southeast Asia. Although that office, which it called a representative office, acted as a liaison between B&L and its independent distributors, it did not maintain any inventory to employ its own sales force. So wala siya inventory. So in order to improve customer service and reduce the lead time on product orders, the director of the representative office in Hong Kong suggested to the Ophthalmic Division of B&L Inc. in Rochester that B&L operate a warehouse to maintain an inventory in Hong Kong. No? So it was the understanding of B&L that any office that maintained inventory in Hong Kong had to be incorporated in Hong Kong. No? Kasi meron na sila sa Hong Kong. So, sabi niya, it has to be incorporated in Hong Kong. So the Ophthalmic Division of B&L decided to incorporate each B&L Hong Kong in 1972 for the primary purposes of distributing sunglasses and other B&L products in Hong Kong and related markets. So in Southeast Asia, and improving customer service and expanding B&L business in Southeast Asia. In connection with the decision To establish distribution operation in Hong Kong, B&L considered Hong Kong's labor cost, its political stability, its historic role as a trading center, any logistical difficulty of managing the Asian distribution functions from Rochester, and the inadequacy of its marketing and sales in Southeast Asia is in particular in Hong Kong because of its reliance on independent distributors. No? So from 1970 through 1981, B&L Hong Kong functioned inter alia as a marketing, sales, warehousing, and distribution facility that purchased sunglasses, no? Contact lenses, contact lens solutions, ophthalmic frames and lenses, scientific instruments, and other B&L products from related suppliers, and sold them primarily to unrelated customers in Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, Taiwan, the Philippines, Singapore, Malaysia, ito yung mga Asian, no? Thailand, and Indonesia. So during those years, B&L Hong Kong largest selling products were sunglasses that it purchased from B&L and that it did not assemble in Hong Kong. And its largest sales market for those sunglasses was Hong Kong. Throughout the period 1972 through 1981, B&L Hong Kong and not B&L Inc. made the decisions affecting B&L Hong Kong's operations that related to its leasing facilities, personnel, selection of the B&L products lines it offered, B&L product inventory levels, processing and billing of customer orders, and account management. So during those years, B&L Hong Kong expanded its sales of B&L products from approximately 300,000 to 10 million. So napaka laki ng jump niya, no? Ng sales. So B&L management was aware that the tax rates in Hong Kong were lower than the tax rates in the United States during and immediately prior to the years at issue. And B&L management made effort during those years to reduce its overall tax burden. So yun yung ginawa nila to reduce the tax burden. So B&L sunglasses. B&L began producing sunglasses in 1930. Okay. So in response to an inquiry from the U.S. Army Air Corps, whose pilots needed protection from the glare of the sun while flying above the clouds. No? So sila yung choice ng mga military. No? B&L began marketing sunglasses to the general public in 1936. No? 1936, magsi-Second World War na. Since 1937, B&L has marketed its sunglasses principally under the name Ray-Ban. No? So yun ang ano niya, yun ang brand. Ray-Ban sunglasses are premium quality sunglasses that are priced 2 to 10 times higher than regular sunglasses. Imagine, 2 to 10 times higher than regular sunglasses. Ray-Ban sunglasses contain optical quality glass lenses that are impact resistant and designed to protect the wearer from harmful ultraviolet rays without distorting his or her natural vision. B&L produced inter alia the following styles of sunglasses. Ito naman yung mga sunglasses na gawa ni B&L, no? All of which bore the logo Ray-Ban. Number 1, sunglasses with metal temples and fronts and glass lenses that B&L and we refer to as metals or metal sunglasses. Oh, so, ibang style. Number 2, sunglasses with metal temples and fronts covered in whole or in part with leather and glass lenses that B&L refer to as leathers. No? And then next is the sunglasses with plastic temples and fronts and glass lenses that B&L and we refer to as plastic or plastic sunglasses. And number 4, sunglasses with nylon temples and fronts and glass lenses that B&L we refer to as cuts. No? So ito yung iba't ibang klase ng sunglasses ng B&L, no? So B&L also produced sunglasses with metal temples and fronts and one-piece plastic shield as a lens that B&L and we refer to as wings. So ibang style naman yun. B&L used stock keeping units or SKUs to keep track of the finished sunglasses that it produced and sold. Every different types of finished sunglasses product made by B&L was assigned a different SKU and represented a separate inventory item. So any variation in the sunglasses caused them to be aligned a different SKU. So for example, if two pairs of large metals contain different colored lenses, or two pairs of wayfarers were made with different colors of plastics, no? So they were assigned different SKUs even though they were identical in every other aspect. No? Okay. Ano yung SKU? Stock keeping units. So prior to and during the years at issue, B&L primary facilities for producing sunglasses were located in Rochester. B&L performed both parts fabrication and assembly in Rochester. B&L treated parts fabrication and assembly as separate operations and, regardless of location, considered its assembly facilities as customers of its parts fabrication facilities. Okay. Okay, so mga process na lang to eh. No? May shout out, Hari? O sige, shout out ka.
Shoutout po kay Ma'am Ruela Caballero.
Okay.
Pati po kay Sir Eugene Cruz.
Okay.
And then kay Ma'am Trek City, good evening daw po.
Okay.
Shoutout din po kay Sir Ryan Deocades. Tapos may tanong ma'am si Lilian Yeo.
Okay, sige.
Pero regarding sa ano ma'am.
Okay, sige. Question and answer naman din tayo dito eh. Okay. Sige.
Ask niya daw ma'am kung saan daw ilalagay yung excess tax payment ng first quarter sa percentage tax form. Kasi wala daw line para sa other tax credit or payment.
Sa ano na lang, sa tax paid. Kasi kung ano mo na siya, na compute na, di ba? Either negative siya or positive. So, ibig sabihin, pag positive siya, babayaran mo. Pag negative, ibig sabihin, may overpayment ka. No? Sana yung ating percentage tax na ano. Tingnan natin. Percentage tax na quarterly. 2551M. IQ, no? 2551Q na. Kasi wala nang monthly na percentage ngayon eh. 152. Okay. So 2551Q, quarterly percentage tax return. Dito siya sa total tax payable, no? So total tax due ngayon, less tax credit or payment, no? Creditable percentage tax withheld per BIR Form 2307, tax paid in return previously filed, no? So dito po ninyo ilagay yung overpayment nyo. Kasi previously filed siya, di ba? And other tax credit. So, meron kang total tax credit or payments, line number 18. So, tanggal mo yan o deduct mo yan doon sa line number 14 na total tax due mo, since 1% lang yon, meron ka pang overpayment, mas malaki. So, yung tax still payable mo or overpayment, no? So, dyan po nakalagay. Line number 19. Dyan po nakalagay yung overpayment. Tax still payable or overpayment.
Sabi niya, ma'am, di daw pala parehas yung form ng EBIR sa EFTS.
Ay, iba ang EFPS po, hindi pa naka-ano. Hindi pa
Kaya updated yung sa EFTS.
Hindi pa updated po yung EFPS. Hindi pa po updated. Kaya ilagay nyo na lang doon sa overpayment. So kung overpayment yung sa inyo, ilagay nyo na siya doon sa kung saan ba siya nanggagaling, doon sa previously filed return. No? Okay. Meron pa? Okay. Dalawang beses din tayo dito sa Bausch Lomb. Kasi ito naman yung i-discuss natin dito sa Bausch Lomb sa next week, no, July 19, yung significance of transfer price and royalty rate. Then when to apply resale price and comparable and controlled price method, no? So, dalawang beses po tayo mag-discuss dito, no? Then, anuhin natin yung background, paano nangyari yung, anong ginagawa ng Bausch Lomb, no? Sa operation niya during this issue. Kasi, sa next time, yung pag-aralan naman natin yung mga royalty payments. So, yung royalty payments niya coming from the intangibles. Bakit coming from the intangibles? Kasi yung kanyang licenses nung mga process niya, pinahiram niya, siyempre pinagamit niya dun sa subsidiary niya in Ireland and also in Hong Kong. And then, charge lang siya ng 5% na royalty rate sa sales, no? So, ang tanong, tama ba yan? Is it enough yung kanyang charges, no? Okay. So, prior to and during the years at issue, B&L primary facilities for producing sunglasses were located in Rochester, no? B&L performed both parts fabrication and assembly in Rochester. So, ginagawa nila yung, pina-fabricate nila yung mga parts, no? Kasi ang hirap ng sunglasses, why? Kasi napakaliliit ng parts. Tingnan mo na lang pag natanggal yung tornilyo niya, yung dito sa gilid. No? Ang liit-liit niyan. Kaya pagka natanggal at mahulog, sobrang hirap na hanapin. Yun yung karamihan na nasisira, no? Yung dito sa gilid na tornilyo ng sunglass dahil napakaliit. Okay. So, B&L performed both parts fabrication and assembly in Rochester. B&L treated parts fabrication and assembly as separate operations. No? So, separate operations daw yung fabrication and assembly. And, regardless of location, considered its assembly facilities as customers of its parts fabrication facilities. Okay. So, for all relevant period, until sometime in 1986, B&L produced the glass lenses for its Ray-Ban sunglasses in its glass plant in Rochester. The glass plant used a large glass tank capable of being subjected to extreme heat to turn sand and oxides into a molten material that could be pressed into shape for use as lenses in Ray-Ban sunglasses. So, meron sila talagang formula, no? Because plastic lenses had taken over the market for prescription eyeglasses by 1986, the glass plant was not commercially viable and was closed. Kasi yung glass nila, wala nang mga glass ngayon eh. Yung glass kasi, pag nahulog, basag. Ngayon, ano na ang mga lenses ngayon sa salamin? Plastic na. That's why kahit na mahulog, hindi nababasag. No? So, kinlose na nila yung glass plant nila kasi mas marami na yung gumagamit ng plastic. No? B&L licensed its glass lens making technology to shot glass technology, no? An unrelated third-party vendor that specialized in making glass products. B&L worked closely with Scott Glass to ensure that it produced quality lenses for use in Ray-Ban sunglasses. So, binenta nila, pero doon pa rin sila bumibili ng parts, no, ng lenses para sa Ray-Ban. B&L fabricated the parts for its metals. Sa metal naman, no? Yung sa glass, doon na kay Scott Glass. For its metals in its frame center in Rochester Frame Center and its plant in Forchheim, Germany. That was operated by B&L GmbH, no? A subsidiary of B&L Inc. B&L put metal wire through a multiple-step process in order to produce the parts known as metal temples or fronts that were used in assembling certain of its sunglasses. No? So machines were used to draw, form, bend, or cut the metal wire and to press holes into the parts to create threaded holes. No? Yung sabi ko na may tornilyo. An electroplated coating was applied to the metal temples and fronts. As part of the process of fabricating metal, sunglasses parts, metal temples, and fronts were subjected to 20 to 40 specific inspection steps. No? So, napakahigpit. Some of which involved random samples. So in the process of fabricating plastic frames, sheets of plastic were pressed by B&L to cut out plastic temples and fronts. No? Hinges were attached during the process. Yun yung sinasabi ko, yung may hinges sa gilid. No? So in the case of the plastic temples, heated wires were inserted into the temples in order to enable them to hold the adjustment to their shape. As a final step to B&L's fabrication of plastic frames, the plastic temples of fronts were placed into a tumbling barrel, which contained wooden chips and wax to round their edges and polish them. So B&L worked hard to ensure the quality of its sunglasses during both the fabrication of parts for sunglasses and the assembly of those parts into finished sunglasses. Regardless where the parts were fabricated and assembled into finished sunglasses, B&L maintained strict quality standards and specifications that the parts and finished sunglasses were required to meet. Specifications for all sunglasses were established by the significations group at the B&L Frame Center in Rochester. So doon ginagawa. Establishment by B&L of new sunglass assembly facilities. So mayroon naman siyang facilities ng new sunglass assembly. So during the 1970s, B&L experienced tremendous growth. No? Grabe, ang paglaki niya, 1970s. In its sunglass sales. Much of that growth was in international markets, especially Western Europe and Southeast Asia. By 1982, approximately half of B&L sunglass sales were outside the United States. No? So, ang laki, half. To help meet that demand, B&L increased the output of its sunglasses production facilities in Rochester during the 1970s and continued to do so during the years at issue. Prior to 1982, B&L operated a sunglass assembly facility in France that it decided to close. No? So, tinayo tapos kinlose naman. Because of the tremendous growth of its sunglass sales in Europe and elsewhere, it needed, one, to replace that facility in order to supply its European markets, and two, to expand its worldwide sunglass production. No? So, dinamihan na niya yung kanyang production ng sunglass. So, although B&L considered further expanding its sunglass assembly facility in Rochester and opening sunglass assembly facilities in other places, it determined that Ireland was the best site for the establishment of a new sunglass assembly facility. The primary reason for the selection of Ireland as a site for a sunglass assembly facility was the availability of grants from the Industrial Development Authority of Ireland and other incentives provided by the Government of Ireland. The IDA established pursuant to the Industrial Development Act of 1969 was responsible for promoting industrial development in Ireland. Its principal objective was to encourage Irish and foreign industrialists to establish operations in Ireland. Although the IDA helped companies organized in Ireland that did not export product from Ireland, certain service industry companies and small businesses, it favored those businesses setting up manufacturing operations that planned to export product from Ireland. No? So the IDA offered a wide range of economic and financial incentives to firms that establish operations in Ireland, including capital grants in amounts up to 45% of the total cost of plant and equipment. And number two, training grants in amounts up to 100% of the expenditures incurred to train employees. So on or about June 23, 1982, B&L submitted to the IDA a draft proposals. No? IDA draft proposal for the establishment of a sunglass facility in Waterford, Ireland, to be located in the Waterford Industrial Estate, in which B&L Ireland contact lens facility was located. So the IDA draft proposal was prepared in the format set forth in the IDA's Guide to the Submission of Industrial Proposal. So, noong 1982 naman, B&L Ireland and the IDA entered into an agreement, no, to which the IDA agreed to provide B&L Ireland with all capital grants equal to 40% of B&L Ireland's. No? So, annual rent, expenditures for factory building modifications, purchases or leases of new machinery and equipment, and training grants equal to 100% of B&L Ireland training cost. So in order to receive the capital grants under the IDA agreement, B&L Ireland was required to follow certain procedures, including filing an auditor certificate to verify its actual capital expenditures. It received capital and training rents from the IDA by submitting that required documented claim for such grants. No? So, yun ang nangyari sa kanila na lipat sa Ireland. Okay. Okay. So, in addition to opening a sunglass assembly, page 17 na hari. In Ireland, during 1982, B&L decided to open a sunglass assembly facility in Hong Kong during that year. So, during the early 1980s, B&L Hong Kong experienced rapid growth in the sale of sunglasses that it purchased from B&L. Because it experienced long lead times on finished sunglasses shipped from the United States, B&L Hong Kong found it necessary to maintain large inventories to avoid running out of certain SKUs. Ano yung SKUs? Stock keeping units, no, of sunglasses. The cost of maintaining large inventories during the early 1980s was high because interest rates were approximately 18% at that time, no? So ito yung parang ano nangyari doon sa Bausch Lomb, no? Bago sila inassess ng IRS But itong Bush and Lamb sa US, ang dami nilang mga tax cases. Hindi lang ito, no? Marami pa. Since 1959, meron na silang case. In an effort to reduce cost and improve customer services, in early 1981, Mr. Y.H. Chan, the managing director of B&L Hong Kong from 1975 and throughout the years at issue, proposed to William Godfrey, the president of B&L Inc.'s Consumer and Ophthalmic International Division, that B&L Hong Kong assemble sunglasses in Hong Kong. So Mr. Godfrey approved the decision on behalf of B&L Inc. to establish a sunglass assembly facility in Hong Kong. His decision was based on the following factors. Because the parts for different SKUs of Ray-Ban were interchangeable, B&L Hong Kong could reduce its finished goods inventory yet process customer orders faster by assembling the sunglasses in Hong Kong. Kaya nagkaroon na sila ng assembly, no? Because labor and overhead costs were cheaper in Hong Kong than in the United States, the overall cost to B&L to produce a pair of sunglasses was reduced. From 1982 through 1987, B&L Hong Kong leased facilities in the Watts Industrial Building in Hong Kong for its sunglass assembly operations. During the period 1983 through 1985, B&L Hong Kong leased 1,200 square feet for these operations. During 1986 and 1987, it increased the amount of space it leased to 8,000 square feet, no? 4,000 square feet of which was used for production and 4,000 square feet of which was used as a warehouse. B&L Hong Kong leased additional space for offices for managers and other personnel involved in its sunglass assembly operations. So in addition to assembly sunglasses, B&L Hong Kong continued to act as a marketing and distribution company for other B&L products, including sunglasses assembled outside of Hong Kong. Okay. So, itong licensing natin ng intangibles to B&L Ireland and to B&L Hong Kong, part na to ng part 2. No? So, sa part 2 po natin to i-discuss. Although yung issue, we have tackled naman na yung sa royalty payments naman ito. No? Yung next. And since meron pa tayong transfer pricing updates bukas and Friday, no? So, shorten po muna natin yung ating live streaming ngayon because then may part 2 pa naman po itong case of Bausch and Lomb that we will discuss on July 19, no? So, ano yung na-discuss natin ngayon? Yung foreign-based company sales income ng Bausch and Lomb Hong Kong na ang sabi ng US, dapat included siya doon sa income ng US. Pero, nung tiningnan nila kung ano yung purpose ng committee, nung ginawa nila yung batas, hindi kasama yung sales ng product na manufacture doon sa outside the US, no? Hindi kasama. Kaya, in this case, sa issue number 1 na foreign-based company sales income, whether included ba siya sa income, panalo po dito ang Bausch and Lomb, no, in this case. Okay, so with that, may shout out?
Meron po.
Oh, sige,
Si
shout
Joyce Flores. Good evening daw po, ma'am.
Okay, so shout out po kay Joyce Flores. May question pa?
Wala na.
Okay. So wala nang question. So I would like to say thank you po sa ating mga viewers. Thank you sa ating mga subscribers. And see you tomorrow. Yung first topic po natin is about permanent establishment, no? Yung changes noong 2018. Kasi 'di ba yung discussion natin on permanent establishment na yung mga sinasabi ko sa inyo na may mga panggulo na provisions, no, doon sa definition ng permanent establishment. Ano ba yung permanent establishment? Diba ito yung mga branches established in other country. And it will determine kung taxable o hindi sila taxable. Kung i-determine mo kung permanent establishment ba sila. So, ang nangyari no 2018, nagkaroon ng amendments ang OECD on that provision, yung magulo na provision, yung sa Article 5, Paragraph 4. So, yun po yung i-discuss natin sa permanent establishment. And in the afternoon naman, ito yung mga issues, no? Mga issues sa permanent establishment. So, bukas, permanent establishment yung ating i-discuss. But in Friday, yung 2020 na OECD Transfer Pricing Guidelines in Financial Transactions. And meron pang isa. Ano pang isa, Hari?
Transactional profit split method.
Yes, yung transactional profit split method, yung guidelines ng OECD din sa transactional profit split method. Ano yun? Ano yung guidelines na yun? More on allocation K. Kasi, di ba, ang pinakamahirap kasi sa profit split, wala siyang comparable, but how are you going to split the profit between the related parties? So, yung ginawa dyan ng OECD, ano ba yung posible na mga allocation K in order to split the profit? And meron pang ano ba yung mga profit na kasali siya or dapat siya i-split. No? So, we will discuss that in our transfer pricing updates tomorrow and Friday. So, with that, I would like to say thank you sa ating mga subscribers and sa ating mga viewers. Good evening po sa inyong lahat, and let's call it a night.